What's up YouTube, Fallout Freak here, and I'm back with another factions video. So the faction we're going to be talking about in this one is the Institute from Fallout 4. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Institute. The Institute is a reclusive scientific society based in the Commonwealth where they inhabit a massive underground facility founded in 2110 by survivors from the Commonwealth Institute of Technology. And their descendants by 2287, the Institute considers itself a bastion of knowledge and prosperity amid a dying world, developing numerous revolutionary and advanced technologies such as teleportation and synthetic beings. They serve as one of the four major factions in Fallout 4. Background: the Institute was built upon the site of former Commonwealth Institute of Technology, or C.I.T., while the college itself laid in ruins for more than 2 centuries at the time of the Great War. Those present took refuge underground. The Institute was formally founded by the children of the original survivors who dug into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated residential facilities and laboratories, starting an ongoing process of infrastructure expansion. Isolated from the outside world, the scientists continued their work, disregarding the mayhem and destruction occurring outside of its grounds. As they worked on creating synths, they attempted to work peacefully with the people of the Commonwealth using first-generation synths, as well as help create a new stabilized government, but mutual mistrust and infighting ended that relationship quickly, and they returned to isolation. Eventually, the scientists have utterly put ubiquitous pre-war technology to shame, to the point where they believe that wastelanders would be unlikely to understand the sheer scope of the Institute's achievement, such as the creation of the molecular relay teleporter in the 2180s, which resulted in the Institute sealing itself off from the surface permanently, and the development of synths. For decades, the first and second generation synths were the most visible part of the Institute's operations, scavenging for materials and performing experiments on the wasteland. The scientists did not concern themselves with the effect their actions had on the surface, sometimes resulting in entire settlements being destroyed. However, the Institute eventually reached the limits of the synth technology that underpinned their society. Although powerful, the second generation synth was an inherently limited mechanical platform. To overcome the limitations of metal synthetic materials, the Institute endeavored to create synthetic flesh, with the first research initiative beginning in 2178. Under the auspices of Dr. Frederick, FEV samples served as the starting point for the new organic synthetic program, despite the objections of some members of bioscience. Research slowed in March 2224 as the research team concluded that the organic synth project could not proceed despite perfecting 2 FEV strains for the project. Radiation-induced hereditary damage proved too much of an obstacle. The solution came in 2227 with the acquisition of a baby named Shaun, who had an undamaged pre-war genetic code. Shaun was abducted from his parents in Vault 111 by Institute mercenary Conrad Kellogg. The Organic Synth project was spun off from the FEV Research Initiative, and his DNA became the basis of the third-generation synths. The infant Shaun became father to a whole family of engineered synthetic beings. 2 incidents caused the Institute to have a negative perception by the surface dwellers. In 2229, a defective synth caused the Broken Mask incident in Diamond City, vilifying the Institute in the eyes of the Commonwealth, and causing no small amount of internal problems for the Institute, as he was sent out without proper testing or approval. During the 2230s, the massacre of the CPG occurred, in which the Institute killed people trying to create a stable Commonwealth government. By 2266, the Institute had learned about the Railroad, an organization dedicated to helping escaped synths. The Institute raided and massacred the Railroad's headquarters and murdered their leader, Wyatt, in 2273. The FEV research effort continued for several more decades, despite producing no useful data except for manufacturing more supermutants for the surface to contend with. When Brian Virgil succeeded Dr. Silverson as head of the project in April 2286, it became evident that FEV experimentation ran its course and served no useful purpose, with the availability of third-generation synths as a better alternative. The FEV program ended completely after Virgil went rogue and fled into the Commonwealth. Shaun had the FEV lab sealed off and Virgil's escape covered up, saying that he had died in an accident in the lab. The Institute is constantly facing shortages in its power budget, in no small part due to the fact that the molecular dematerializer, the only way in and out of the facility, requires immense amounts of power for each use. Moreover, despite the luster of the Institute's facilities, a lot of the crucial facilities, particularly the reactor and pre-war technology, are pre-war technology, and despite continued maintenance requires increasing amounts of resources to keep running after 2 centuries of expansion. The technology still holds up as it was built to last. To overcome at least one problem, the ultimate goal of the Institute is energy independence, which they believe can be achieved by restarting the ancient nuclear reactor used by the C.I.T. to perform experiments and providing the Institute with near limitless power. The design has been revised and the reactor itself extensively upgraded and improved, turning it from a testing reactor into a proper source of electricity. Activating it would free the Institute from the need to comprise and sacrifice, and especially drawing power from above-ground installations. So that's a little bit, or a lot of it, about the Institute. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of what the Institute logo looks like. There we go. Now let me go ahead and get to my desktop and expand my desktop. Okay, now let me get to my desktop. There we go. And this is what the Institute logo looks like. So it's got arms like this and legs together, or arms outstretched like this and legs separated, or a combination of these two or four, whatever. But yeah, this is the Institute logo, and that is my video, my faction video, for this faction video of the Institute in Fallout 4. Hit me up in the comment section below and let me know what you think about the Institute. Honestly, I'm not that wild about them. I'm more of a Brotherhood of Steel guy in Fallout 4. I've beaten Fallout 4 5 times, twice with the Brotherhood of Steel, and once, the 3 other times were once with each of the other factions. But yeah, that is the Institute in a nutshell, and until my next factions video and video on here in general, you must always remember that war never changes.